This video is a brief tutorial that may help you out during one of the activities in the lab this week. And that activity is to measure and compare the heights of different types of epithelial cells. To do this, you'll view the tissues under the microscope and use an ocular micrometer, which is a measuring guide that's placed in one of the oculars of the microscope. For simple cuboidal and simple columnar cells, the height measurement is pretty straightforward. You'll simply measure the cells from the basal surface, here, to the apical surface, here. But measuring the height of a simple squamous epithelial cell is much trickier, because you first need to find a simple squamous cell in cross-section. I want to give you a quick tip on finding a simple squamous epithelial cell. If you look in the connective tissue beneath the epithelium, you can sometimes find small blood vessels in cross-section. And here's an example. So that blood vessel is in the connective tissue that's beneath this epithelial cell layer. The walls of these blood vessels are made up of simple squamous epithelial cells. And here you can see one in cross-section right here. And this is what you want to find to measure when you're measuring the height of a simple squamous epithelial cell. In the lab, your best bet for finding these small vessels is going to be in the slide of the skin. Remember that the skin is a stratified squamous epithelium. So why not just measure any of these squamous cells here in the stratified layers? The reason we don't use these cells for height measurement is that they're highly variable in their size and height. So rather than measuring cells in the stratified squamous layers of the epidermis, look beneath in the connective tissue of the dermis. And if you can find a small blood vessel in the dermis, and here's one example right here, and then you can measure the height of the simple squamous epithelial cells that make up this blood vessel. You'll learn more about how to use the ocular micrometer for cell measurements in the lab this week. And if you have any problems finding the cells that you want to measure, be sure to ask your instructor in the lab.